Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the internet. Welcome to my channel. It's me, ODO, and I'm back again to do a Frasier review for you. We're on episode 6 now, Legislative Action. And the cast's been together for a while. They're really nailing it on all fronts. And this episode keeps it going. Let's get into it. So getting into this week's episode called Legislative Expansion, which is like the name of a game, right? Legislative Assembly, an extremely boring game. Frasier's going to be taking a trip to Cape Cod. What's up? Going out of town. Roz is going to be coming in to join them. Her daughter Alice is going to be coming. Woohoo, we're getting the old gang back together. Well, we open up at the coffee shop where Frasier's in there with Alan and Olivia. And it's so funny. Like, I literally almost had to pause it. Alan gets caught by a scammer. He's like, I met this guy and somehow he knew my middle name. I don't know how. He's wearing a name tag. He's like, and he, of course, asked you some stuff. We had to reminisce. And Frasier's like, did he ask you for money? And Alan's like, as a matter of fact, he did. And I gave him some money. He's like, oh, where's my wallet? I must have lost my wallet when helping out that gentleman. It's the most obvious scam ever, especially when he explains it. I love that Alan fell for it of all people because he's so cynical. He's the exact type of person that you would think would never fall for that. It was great. And they dragged that out a little bit too with Frasier and them just kind of laughing at him. But then, yeah, Frasier's taking a trip to Cape Cod. And like I said, Roz is going to come. And he's really trying to get Freddie and Eve, the next door neighbor, together. He just thinks they're perfect for each other. And you know what they need? Just a little Frasier push. But he can't just, come out and tell Freddie, because if he interferes in his social life, he thinks for sure Freddie will never make it happen. So do not worry. Frasier sets up a whole plan in Cape Cod to how to get them together. And of course, like all Frasier plans, it's going to go very Fraserly. Let's just say that. So when they finally get up to Cape Cod, it's a real nice place. Frasier's got the whole outside balcony set up with like romantic music. And Freddie recognizes the music because it's what Frasier plays when he's, going to get it on. So he thinks there's something going on out there. And because Freddie is out there with Eve, and then there's Roz and Frasier. Then David comes, Niall's son. He's the one who has the board game, Legislative Assembly. He sits down and sets it up. He's so excited, we're going to get this going. I know all the rules, guys, and I've even got the expansion. I was like, oh, wow, cool. And Frasier's like, yes, you do that. So then when Freddie and Eve get there, they kind of usher them out to the balcony. They've got champagne and wine set up and music. So as Freddie and Eve are out there, of course, Freddie's not really interested in Eve, right? But they're just friends, right? And she used to be one of his best friend's lovers, right? So he's not really, I don't think, interested in that. But he hears the music and thinks, what's going on here? What's with the wine? What's with this whole getup? Why this music? This is weird music. It sounds like my dad's makeout music. And then him and Eve look in and he sees Roz and Frasier together. So he thinks they're trying to hook up. He doesn't realize Frasier's trying to get them to hook up. So it's funny too because they start having conversations and they're both talking past each other well, wouldn't it be nice to hook up with an old friend? Why, yes, it would, Dad. Why would you say that? I just think it'd be a good idea. It was awesome. I love when old shows used to do that all the time. So as they're out there and Frasier's setting the plan in motion, Alice shows up. She's a bit late. Roz's daughter. She's really pretty. And her and Freddie knew each other when they were kids. So she's totally into Freddie. She likes Freddie, wants to hook up with Freddie, keeps trying to get alone time with Freddie. David, who's playing Legislative Assembly, realizes Alice also likes that. And she even knew about the expansion. Oh my goodness. And Eve is just not involved. But then Freddie and Eve think that Frasier and Roz are trying to hook up. So they're trying to do things to set them up. Frasier's trying to do things to get two of them set up. And David's trying to hook up with Alice. At one point, it's almost like what's that old analogy? When you have the river with the fox and the chicken and the chicken feed, whatever, you got to get them all across the river. Frasier's trying to get Freddie outside with Eve, but Alice is trying to get outside with Freddie, and then David's trying to get alone with Alice, and Freddie and Eve are trying to get Roz and Frasier alone. If it sounds confusing, it wasn't. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was one of those episodes where there's two different storylines going on, but they all think they're having the same conversation. But everything Frasier says, of course, about hooking up with old friends, he's referring to Eve. And then when Freddie's talking about it to Frasier, he's talking about Roz. So It's honestly hilarious. Some of the best conversations you're going to get. So many like tongue-in-cheek jokes. All I can do is smile. This whole episode makes me smile. Another plan by Frasier gone, very terrible. Nothing worked out good for him, really. Later on, Frasier too, they're talking about how he gives good advice or whatever. He's like, a pox on my silver tongue for creating these situations. And then the best moment, Freddie sits down with Frasier and he says, Dad, we got to have a heart-to-heart. I would never want you to interfere in my life like this. It's giving me the jitters just bringing it up. But, I know why you brought us here. I know about you and Roz wanting to hook up. I know about all that stuff you're saying about the old friend hooking up and how you should never look at it like that and how it might be the best thing ever, but you never thought of. You were talking about Roz, of course, because you couldn't be talking about anyone else. And Frasier realizes that. He's like, because he doesn't want, because Freddie just said, I would never want you to interfere in my life. He's like, yes, of course, because that's who I would have had to have been talking about. And then Freddie's like, yeah, it couldn't be anyone else, right? Freddie's like, yeah, it was obvious you were talking about Roz, old friend, and everything else. Who else could you be talking about? Frasier's like, well, I certainly can't think of anybody. So then he has to go through a thing where he's pretending that he did want to hook up with Roz. And he goes out on the balcony and he's like, okay, Roz, just follow a few of my things. Pretend you ate something hot. Pretend you're crying, like whatever. And then she's like, wait a minute, what's going on? And she looks in. All the kids are watching them from the window. She's like, do they think we're going to hook up? She's like, oh my God, no. She looks at the kids. No. It was awesome. And she kept going the whole thing like, stop trying to use my Alice as a piece of meat. But Alice does want to hook up with Freddie. It was great. The actress playing Alice is pretty funny. I think this is her introduction. I don't remember seeing her before this, but she might have been. And it's always great to have Roz back. David, he's a great fill-in for now. The whole legislative game was terribly boring, but he kept wanting people to play. It was awesome. Another great episode and a great show. It's appointment viewing. I'm happy to watch this every single week. I look forward to it. I never forget to see it, and I always enjoy more Frasier. More Frasier is always going to be fun for me, and I'm always going to be here for it. So another one that I'd recommend easily. I'm going to do a full review at the end of the season, but I can't help but review every episode because it's just so much fun seeing Frasier on the screen, his screw-ups, his ideas, and sometimes when things go well for him. Overall, a lot of fun. Missed a bit of Alan and Olivia this week, but lots of other fun things going on. So definitely check it out. Another great episode in the season. And thanks so much for watching this far, guys. If you're still here, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Frasier down in the comments. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.